This woman has disappeared not once, not twice, but 3 times. This is Avery After Dark, and I'm your host, Avery Ross. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm so happy you're here. On Avery After Dark, I cover everything chilling, mysterious, and unexplained. So if that's up your alley, you're in the right place. While you're here, subscribe, leave a like and a comment, and turn on post notifications. I upload new videos every week, and I don't want you to ever miss out on an episode. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's mystery. It all really began on August 28th, 2008. 23-year-old Hannah Upp was working as a teacher in Upper Manhattan in New York City. She was busy preparing for a new school year to start that next day. Hannah was a Pace University graduate student and taught Spanish. The day of the 28th, she went out for a run near her apartment in Hamilton Heights. But Hannah didn't come back. That next morning, when the school bell rang, Hannah was absent. Police were called in and the search for her began. They found that she left her ID, phone, and wallet behind, but there was no sign of her anywhere. Friends and family put up thousands of missing persons posters all over the city, and her disappearance was covered in the media as well. Where did she go? Days passed by with no developments in the case. But strangely, 2 weeks into her disappearance, Hannah was spotted on surveillance at an Apple store in Midtown Manhattan. Checking her email, she was even seen chatting with a classmate there. Hannah was dressed in a workout outfit with her hair up, and 2 days after that, she was seen at a Starbucks. She was also spotted at 5 different chains of New York sports clubs all across the city, where detectives believe she had gone to shower. So she was missing, but from the surveillance tapes, seemed to be fine, popping up in different areas all across the city, completing these mundane tasks. And then a shocking turn. On September 16th, Hannah Upp was found floating face down in the New York harbor near the Statue of Liberty. A ferry captain spotted her and immediately called 911. The crew aboard the ferry hoisted Hannah up from the water, and upon doing so, she immediately took a sharp gasp of breath and began to cry. She was treated for hypothermia, dehydration, and a severe sunburn. But miraculously, Hannah survived. Police began questioning her. What happened? Where had she been? And Hannah didn't have a clue. She told police she had no idea where she had been the past 3 weeks. She said she went from going on a run to being in the ambulance. It was like 10 minutes had passed. Hannah's mom, Barbara Bellis, watched the surveillance footage from the Apple store and said that something seemed very off about her daughter. Something wasn't right. Hannah was treated and learned she was suffering from an extremely rare form of amnesia called dissociative fugue. Someone with this may leave home without any warning and can even take on a new identity. Episodes of this fugue state can last hours, days, or even years in some cases. And the scary thing is, from an onlooker, the person in the fugue state will often appear completely normal, just as Hannah did all over New York City while she was missing. Doctors believe it can be triggered by trauma, a natural disaster, or by some sort of profound internal conflict. In these states, sufferers can pick up, leave, and embark on lengthy journeys. How scary to think in a blink of an eye, you could just lose yourself, your identity. That is baffling. When talking to doctors, Hannah said she didn't really have any big stressors or trauma, so this whole event was beyond strange. She couldn't explain it. She was confused as to why this happened to her, but with time, she tried to get past it. And time went by without any incident. Hannah and her family thought and hoped that this was all in the past, but it wasn't. In the years since that disappearance and reappearance, Hannah had moved to Kensington, Maryland, and started a new life there. But then, in September 2013, it happened again. Hannah was seen walking near the school she worked at as a teacher's assistant, and then she was gone. She vanished. Her cell phone and purse were found lying in a wooded area, but Hannah was nowhere to be found. This time, Hannah was missing for 2 days and was eventually found in a dirty creek. She called her mom to come get her, and she was again confused. But the most haunting disappearance is the one that remains unsolved to this day. In 2014, Hannah moved again to St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. She made lots of friends, and they all said Hannah loved living there. One good friend named Maggie Guzman even joked that it was exhausting being Hannah's pal because Hannah had so much energy all the time. She was super involved in the community and taught at the local school, but many friends said they had no idea that she suffered from this dissociative fugue. And in September 2017, Hannah's friends noticed she was acting strangely, not herself. And this was all in the time when Hurricane Irma barreled through the island in early September. And a week later, on September 14th, 2017, Hannah was seen leaving her apartment around 8 a.m. and has never been seen again. She was reported missing after failing to show up for a faculty meeting at a local Montessori school where she worked. Her car was found abandoned near a beach bar, and at Hannah's apartment, police found a note she had left for her roommate before she vanished. In this note, Hannah said she was intending on going for a morning swim in nearby Sapphire Beach, and then heading to the school she worked at to complete a few tasks. The day after she disappeared, a construction cleanup crew found Hannah's sundress, a pair of her sandals, and her car keys laid out in the sand, many fearing the worst. The oceans after the hurricane were abnormal current-wise, 3 to 4 foot waves. Even for an Olympic swimmer, these conditions would be hard to fight against. But Hannah's mom believes she's still alive out there somewhere, and even moved to St. Thomas to search for her daughter. There's been reported sightings of Hannah in the past couple years, and many believe she's still out there somewhere, but has maybe taken on a new identity. Investigators say that workers at a small bar close to where Hannah's car was found also said they had seen her that day that she disappeared, and said that she wasn't acting like herself. There are so many questions because this is not your typical missing persons case. Every time Hannah went into this fugue state, it was September and always near a body of water. And as doctors have said, it is entirely possible for someone that is suffering from this type of fugue state to be gone for years, to run off and take on a new identity, which has to be so devastating for Hannah's family, to live with these questions day in and day out. For now, Hannah's disappearance remains a haunting mystery. But I gotta know, what are your thoughts on this case? People suffering from dissociative fugue states are often portrayed in TV and movies, but this is a real-life case of it. Really haunting. Leave them in the comments. I always love getting your take on these cases. Next episode, I have so much more coming your way. Until then, I'm Avery Ross, and this is Avery After Dark.